Hello, this is Jolie in Lafayette, Louisiana, and I'm with the Acadiana Republican Women's Group, and we just had a Zoom meeting with Congressman Clay Higgins. Thank you, Mr. Clay, for meeting with us. We discussed some things that were on our minds as individuals, and I just wanted to share those with you. So my main concern was the election integrity and Dominion voting machines, and making sure our state legislature is held accountable for getting those Dominion machines out of here, out of Louisiana. And in this meeting, some things were brought up by other members. Some research has been done, and I want to share that with you. Okay, first of all, Congressman Clay Higgins does say that the election was compromised, because I voiced my concerns about being called a domestic terrorist for saying, yes, it was compromised. There was election fraud. If you watched the hearings, the hours of hearings like I did, you would see that there was. Uh, but I told him, I said, I don't care if it was 1,000,000 or 2 votes. It was compromised. And he said, no, there were millions and it was compromised. And so just to clarify that, so he said that we would have to talk to our Attorney General, Jeff Landry, and our Secretary of State, Kyle Ordway, in order to make sure that those Dominion voting machines are not used in our state of Louisiana. However, another member did research, and she stated that in 2011, prior to 2011, Dominion machines were not used in Louisiana, and bam, Louisiana paid Dominion $94 million for their machines. And our Secretary of State approved it and said he was okay with the Dominion machines. But right now we are open for bidding. Right now, up until March 20th, since January 27th to March 20th, we are open for bidding. But one thing that Captain Clay, Congressman Clay, said was the machine in itself, without any internet access, is fine. It's the second they plug it into the internet and it becomes digital. The digital transfer becomes susceptible to people 800 miles away. It doesn't matter where they are. Once it's connected to the internet, nefarious intent can occur. Okay? And I love the analogy he used. He said, act like you have a bank vault and your money is secure in the bank vault, but the second you take that money and put it in an armored vehicle, what can happen? That armored vehicle could be hijacked. So essentially, the votes were hijacked. Okay, that is the truth of the matter. Now we know that's the truth. Are we going to stop voting? No, we're going to make sure we cure the issue. I don't care if the military has to come in and count their own votes, because it was the military votes that were mostly changed. But I don't care if it's the military that comes in and makes sure that nefarious things don't happen, but it needs to occur. So we discussed election fraud, Dominion machines, election integrity. That was at the top of my list. Okay. We also talked about mask mandates, and they asked, I didn't ask this particular question, but another member asked, are mask mandates going to happen at the federal level? Can they make us wear masks? And he said, absolutely not. That is illegal. It's not, it's illegal. It's not backed by law. It is a mandate. Now, if you want to wear a mask, great. If you don't, great. That is your right. That is your right. We discussed that. And if you have an employer that makes you wear a mask, you could essentially put your foot down and say, I'm not doing this. This goes against my human right. And it is illegal for them to do it, actually. So just so you know that. But if you want to just go with the flow, you can continue doing that. But just so you know that they are going against the law by making you wear a mask. Okay. And that goes for your children too. Just want to put that out there. Also, so in regards to the impeachment trial, this was very interesting. And this was why it was said that it was unconstitutional to even have the impeachment trial. Absence of a Supreme Court justice immediately removed constitutional sound procedure. It states in the Constitution that Supreme Court must supervise And the Democrats' argument to their saying that this is why it's unconstitutional was the argument was, oh, they don't have to be present. No, Supreme Court Justice Roberts even declined to be there. That's how unconstitutional and irrelevant this whole trial that wasted your taxpayer dollars was. Okay. So Captain Clay, I call him Captain Clay because I've known him since he was Captain Clay, but Congressman Clay Higgins is very optimistic. He has hope for the future, but we're going to do it legally. We're going to make change legally through Article 3 and our judicial branch. Okay, so look for a lot of legalities, law law cases going on. Let's see. So the Keystone, the oil, our livelihood of Louisiana. Keystone Pipeline was in direct contractual violation, not only with our own country, but internationally. We are going to court internationally because when he signed that executive order for the Keystone to get rid of the Keystone, guess what? that he violated contracts, not only with the US and states, but with Mexico and Canada. Okay? Battling in court nationally and internationally. And our Attorney General, Jeff Landry, was just in Texas this week, a week and a half ago, meeting with attorney generals from all over the country to organize lawsuits regarding oil and gas and contractual violations that the executive order, Biden's executive order went against. So we have some good things going on with that. Our attorney generals are 100% organizing and focused and communicating with each other. Those things are in play. Okay, and he himself will be an original plaintiff with a lot of cases going to court. He is fighting for us. I wish our other senator was fighting for us because we all need to fight hard right now. You see the Democrats and the impeachment trial, fight this, fight that. Yeah. Well, we're going to fight too. Legally. We're not inciting violence. We're inciting freedom of voice. And I support you completely getting off social media. And if we have to share and communicate old school in taverns, churches, and houses, backyards, so be it. But our voices will not go away. You might be able to cancel it temporarily just so you can't see it, Mr. Zuckerberg, but our voices are not going away. You're not changing us. You're not AOC. You're not going to change our voice, okay? You're not going to deprogram what is rooted, our core values, our attitudes, values, and beliefs on everything we stand for, which is based on the Holy Bible and our Christian background. Okay? You're not changing it. No matter how many years of television tried to break us down, we're not breaking down. Okay? So, our love of country is not going away. We talked about the cloture rule being unconstitutional. We talked about how, okay, because here's the argument. We, as Republicans, we say, oh, I wish the Republican Party would stick together like the Democrats. That, you know, they're so hardcore, no matter what it is, they always stick together. Well, I had that perspective until I heard Congressman Clay Higgins' perspective on it. And this is what he said. He said that the Democrats are threatened and they use fear to control each other. He said with the Republican Party in D.C., he has never been threatened. Fear was never used on him to change his vote or to make him vote a certain way. And that's why the Republican Party is divided sometimes, because they let you have your own voice. They don't try to control you out of fear. And he said he would rather it be that way than have his convictions and his core values controlled through fear and manipulation. And so, wow, I totally respect that perspective. And it is really sad that it's not that way for everybody, because this is the United States of America. Okay, so we talked a lot about the Dominion voting. We talked about the oil and gas and the constitutional it going against contractual what's the word, violations. And let's see. The executive orders of Biden's will be challenged. They're working on several lawsuits. Article 10, it falls back on the states. Thank God. Thank God we have our state laws. He talked about an example with the masks. Yeah, you can have a federal mandate for something like marijuana is illegal, but look at the state's power. You have Colorado, California. They're going against that federal law with their own state law, and they're doing what they want in their states. So state law and Article 10 is so important. Our state's powers are so important. Okay, there were a lot of things I didn't get to because we were so limited on time. We talked for almost an hour and a half between me and 4 other women, Acadiana Republican women. And I just want to make sure that we talked about House Resolution number 1 and how dangerous it is and how it could be signed into a law, but we will be challenging it in court and the judicial branch. It's an effort to permanently have majority control by federal elections and funding using payments to keep the majority and in the House of Reps, and that cannot happen. But it could be signed into law, but that would be very not constitutional. Okay, I think that's it. There was a lot of things we didn't get to talk about. Oh, we talked a little bit about sports and having particular people playing certain sports. We talked about that. I didn't get to a few things that I wanted to get to, like the censorship issue, small business owners in Louisiana getting a loan and a little grant if their business is destroyed in a natural disaster, but individuals get full restoration. I didn't get to that, and I didn't get to the curriculum issues in our state and in our nation, and how the curriculum is so left-sided and so socialist. For years have been brainwashing our kids, planting seeds here and there, anti-American seeds, where we need to have the patriot curriculum like Trump talked about. Our nationalism isn't bad, okay? That's not what he means. Yes, white nationalism is, but nationalism, love of country, is not negative. But what is negative is what's been going on 12 years. Okay, starting in 2010, if you know what I mean, because I saw it. Math teachers coming to me, showing me word problems. Yeah, wiggling their way into math even. Their left voice, their demented, no core values, no Christian values in their ELA narratives. That needs to stop. We talked about we didn't get to talk about the mental health of children and the importance of getting them back into school. All right, but that was the gist of it, and I will see y'all later. Bye.